Okay, so before we get to the big news, let's talk about particle accelerators. The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, at CERN is basically a huge, powerful ring of magnets. It's the biggest particle accelerator we've got and a real achievement. It can even recreate conditions from the very start of the universe. But could this thing, made to find out how the universe works, be hiding something scary? CERN is a major research place with lots of countries involved and tons of scientists. The LHC is its main thing, like a racetrack for tiny particles that zip around almost as fast as light. They smash into each other, making crazy hot temperatures like the Big Bang. Magnets keep the particles on track, and supercool systems keep everything cold. These collisions happen at 4 spots where there are detectors: Atlas, CMS, ALICE, and LHCb. They're like giant cameras taking pictures of the crashes. Scientists look through the junk for stuff like the Higgs boson, God particle, to figure out what makes up the universe. By checking out the tiny stuff, we learn about the big stuff. But every answer brings new questions. The LHC isn't just a tool. It shows how curious and inventive we are. We really want to know how the universe works. But as we learn more, we gotta think about the ethics. What if we mess with things we can't handle? At CERN, where people are always pushing the limits, this ex-CERN researcher Brian Cox said something that's got everyone worried. The LHC is trying to make a mini Big Bang, a small version of how the universe started. It could help us find the Higgs boson and learn about dark matter, that weird stuff that makes up most of the universe. Having that kind of power is cool, but dangerous. This mini Big Bang is real inside the LHC. It's got the heat, pressure, and energy of the early universe. It's like being there at the start. But what if something messes up? Well, something actually did go wrong way back. This Russian scientist, Anat Borsky, had an accident. A proton beam went right through his head. He saw a flash but didn't feel pain. It burned through his head and left some damage. He even walked himself to the doctor. The beam messed up some stuff, like his hearing and face, but he was still smart and kept working. That's a warning about how strong particle accelerators are and how careful we need to be. There's real worry about stuff we haven't thought of, like messing with space and time. One fear about the LHC is that it might make tiny black holes. Black holes suck everything in, even light. The idea that the LHC could make one is scary. Could it grow and eat the planet? CERN says any black hole would be wimpy and disappear fast. But still, people are worried. So, how could the LHC make a black hole? When particles crash at light speed, it makes so much energy that it bends space and time. It's like dropping something heavy on a trampoline. If it's heavy enough, it could make a dent so deep that everything rolls into it. Some think there might be secret dimensions we don't know about. If so, the LHC's crashes might tap into them and make a tiny black hole. Even Stephen Hawking talked about this stuff. He said the Higgs boson could become unstable and cause a vacuum decay, which could destroy the universe. Sir Martin Ree also said we should worry about experiments at CERN and that one could even cause a vacuum instability. He thought the chance was small, but still worth thinking about big time because the risk is very, very high. CERN scientists say they've checked everything and the LHC is safe. Brian Cox agrees we need to be careful but says there are safety plans in place. He said the energy levels aren't anything Earth doesn't deal with all the time and that the odds of making a black hole are super small. And even if one pops up, it'll vanish fast because of Hawking radiation. Some folks think the LHC could open a gate to another universe. Most scientists don't believe that, but it's a cool idea that's been in movies and stuff. What's out there? Could we let loose something we can't handle? Having other dimensions isn't a new idea. String theory says there might be extra ones hidden from us. Under crazy conditions, we might be able to get to them. So, picture the LHC as a key that opens doors to stuff we haven't seen. Smashing particles together might make ripples in space and time and show us these hidden dimensions. The LHC is a sign of our curiosity and ambition. We've learned a lot about the universe, but we still don't know much. Trying to get more knowledge is awesome, but it's risky. Only time will tell if we're ready for what's next. The Large Hadron Collider, LHC, is an amazing machine, but it also raises questions about the basics of the universe. It's a super complex thing with scientists from all over working together to figure out the big questions. As they learn more, they face issues like what are the limits of this experimentation? One thing that they're looking into is the forces that control the universe, like gravity and electromagnetism. The LHC lets them look at these forces in crazy situations that are mimicking what occurred right after the Big Bang, where the universe was a hot soup of particles. The LHC holds incredible opportunity for discoveries, but it could have unintended stuff happen. Some physicists feel like the work could be releasing more than just the secrets of the universe. They might be uncovering forces that we aren't able to handle. One unsettling thought is the concept of a vacuum decay. This idea is that the power from collisions could cause a shift in space and time, so it starts a chain reaction that changes the very core of reality. Though it isn't likely to take place, some scientists have argued that this risk is worth taking a closer look at. If it were to take place, a vacuum decay could cause the collapse of everything we know and lead to the destruction of every single part of the cosmos. Despite some of what might happen, the LHC is still something that gets a lot of scientists' attention. These proton beams crash at 4 spots on the ring, where there are 4 detectors: Atlas, CMS, ALICE, and LHCb. Each one looks at different things in particle physics. Together, they're like giant cameras taking pictures of these crashes. Then, scientists look through all the pieces to find the Higgs boson, the God particle, and other stuff that can help us understand what the universe is made of. By looking at the small stuff, we can figure out the big stuff. But every answer brings a new question, and every find is a new problem. The LHC isn't just a tool. It's proof of how curious and creative people are. It shows how much we want to learn and understand the forces that make up our universe. But as we learn more, we also have to think about the ethics and what could happen. What if trying to understand things has risks? Could we accidentally find forces we can't control? In CERN's buildings, where people are always trying to learn more, something has come up that's making even scientists nervous. Brian Cox, who used to work at CERN and is a big name in particle physics, said something recently that's got everyone excited and scared. Cox said the LHC wants to make a mini Big Bang. Yeah, you heard that right, a small copy of what started the universe. He talked about what this means, that the LHC could find new things like the Higgs boson or dark matter, which makes up a lot of the universe. Imagine having the power to make the universe in a way. It's cool, but it's also risky. This mini Big Bang isn't just an idea. It's real inside the LHC. The heat, pressure, and energy are like they were when the universe was new. It's like being there at the start. But with that kind of power, you need to be careful. What if something messes up? Well, it actually did way back in 1978. A Russian physicist named Anatoly Borsky had an accident that changed his life. He was working on a machine when something went wrong, and a proton beam went right through his head. This beam, with amazing power, went in the back of his head and out his nose. Borsky said it was like seeing a flash brighter than anything, but he didn't feel pain. The beam burned through his head, but he stayed awake and even went to the clinic himself. What happened after was scary and weird. The beam killed some tissue, so he lost hearing in one ear and couldn't move part of his face. But his brain still worked and he kept being a scientist. This shows how powerful and dangerous accelerators can be. The LHC has risks too. We shouldn't ignore them. Things could go wrong that we don't expect, and even space and time could be messed with. Some scientists are worried about these things. One big worry is making a tiny black hole. Black holes have so much gravity that nothing can escape, not even light. They're like cosmic vacuums, eating stars and hiding in the dark. The idea that the LHC could make one, even a small one, is scary. Could this black hole get bigger and swallow the whole Earth? CERN says any black hole would disappear fast, but even the thought has made people argue, get scared, and be amazed at the power we have. So, how could the LHC make a black hole? When protons crash at almost the speed of light, the energy is so high that it bends space and time. Think of a trampoline with something heavy dropped on it. It bends, and if the thing is heavy enough, it makes a hole that pulls everything in. That's kind of what could happen in the LHC. In the world of quantum physics, where things are strange, there's a theory that extra dimensions might be hiding. If they're real, the LHC collisions could get to them and make a gravity funnel that forms a tiny black hole. This has even caught the attention of scientists. Stephen Hawking warned that the Higgs boson could become unstable with really high energy. This could cause a vacuum decay, which would destroy Earth and the whole universe. Sir Martin Rees also talked about the risks of CERN's experiments. He said that a bad experiment could cause vacuum instability, which could change space and time and cause a huge problem that destroys the universe. He said there was a small chance of this happening, but even a small chance is worth thinking about because the stakes are so high. CERN scientists have checked everything, run tests, and looked at theories to make sure the LHC is safe. Even Brian Cox said that exploring is important, but that he understood people were worried about the LHC. He said there are safety rules and checks to make sure everything is done carefully. Cox said the energies are normal for Earth and that the chance of making a black hole is really low. And even if one was made, it would be so small and unstable that it would disappear in a flash of energy, called Hawking radiation. Some people think the LHC could open a door to another universe. Most scientists don't think so, but it's become a popular idea that makes people scared and interested. What's beyond our world? Could we accidentally let in forces or things we don't know about? Some stories have even said it could open a door to hell, which makes the fear worse. But where did this idea come from? The idea of other dimensions isn't new in physics. String theory says there might be more dimensions than we know. These dimensions could be hidden, but we might be able to get to them in special conditions. So, imagine the LHC as a key that unlocks doors that have been locked for a long time. When protons crash with super high energy, they could make waves in space and time and show us hidden dimensions. Scientists don't really believe this, but the idea that accelerators could unlock secrets has made people more interested in the risks and what could happen. In the end, the LHC is a symbol of what humans want to know and do. It shows how far we've come in understanding the universe, but it also reminds us of the dangers that come with knowledge. The universe is big, but the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know. Trying to learn is a great thing, but it's also risky. We'll see if we're ready for what we find next. The LHC is amazing, but it makes us ask questions that challenge what we know about the universe. It's a well-designed machine, stretching across a big underground ring with the best equipment ever made. Scientists from all over the world are working together to answer big questions about the universe. But as we learn more, we have to face problems, both in theory and in what's right and wrong. One main thing the LHC studies is the forces that control the universe. Scientists have been trying to understand gravity, electricity, and nuclear forces for a long time. The LHC gives us a chance to study these forces in extreme places. When particles crash with so much energy, it's like the conditions right after the Big Bang, when the universe was a hot mix of particles. This lets scientists see how matter and energy act in ways that used to be impossible. But with the chance to make big finds, the LHC also makes us think about how far we should go with experiments.